everyone. We have here Parul, we have Kaveri, we have Aracom, KBL. We have so many incredible members of the ionation team here. Awesome, awesome. Well, look, here's what we're going to do, guys. We are 7 past. We're just going to get started now. And yeah, we're soon as Phil jumps on the spaces, we will be excited to bring him on, introduce him, and talk about all of the incredible things that Ionation is doing. So, with that said, hi everyone, I'm Milan. I am today's host. As many of you know, I'm the VP of Marketing here at ionet. On the call today, we also have Tarsif, who many of you have had the brilliant privilege of hearing in so many of our AMAs. He's one of our incredible regulars, and that's because we are always launching super exciting partnerships. And Tarsif is instrumental to all of those. So we have Tarsif, our VP of Partnerships, and we have Smeral, who's only ever joined us once before. But because Gaurav is at IBW, with even some of the members of Ionation meeting him there, we have Smeral joining, who's our VP of Technology. So, Smeral, do you want to just say a quick hi? I know Tarsif has, but if you want to just say a quick hi to the audience, and then we can get started.
Hello, folks. I think I've been there for the past AMA, and it looks like I'm joining you guys today as well. Feels great to be here
Fantastic.
again.
Awesome, 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 guys. Well, like I said, welcome everyone. Today's AMA is going to be a super interesting AMA because there's really 3 segments to it, right? There's the first segment where we're going to talk more about partnerships and why they are so meaningful to Ionet and why we're conducting these partnerships and why they're like a really, really big part about what we're doing here. And then we have the sort of tech side where Samara is going to talk about some of the really, really juicy tech questions that you guys have asked, and then we'll be running through some of the community like questions that you guys have sent in. Excited to, ping them across. And then hopefully, if we have Phil joining, we will be asking about the partnership that Ionet has done with creator.bid. And many of you can obviously ask your questions. We've already got a ton of questions from you guys, so thank you so much for sharing that. But without further ado, I'm really, really happy to kick it off with some of the tech questions, and then we can sort of feed on to more of the partnership related ones after. So, Smeral, I'm going to take it over to you first while we wait for Phil. So, one of the community has often asked about our partnerships, right? And they're really interested in understanding, like,
Mhm.
essentially, how partnerships and tech play a role together. So one of the questions that we have here is that could you elaborate on how Ionet's decentralized GPU network enhances the scalability and efficiency of AI image and video models? And this is a super hot topic right now, so would love your perspective on that.
Yeah, sure. Let me explain how we do that. Right. So first of all, by harnessing a network of GPUs spread across multiple locations, we pretty much provide a massive pool of computational resources, right? And this allows for parallel processing of complex tasks, and it also significantly reduces the time required for training and inference in such AI models, right? Secondly, we come to the scalability part of it, right? So uh, because of the decentralized nature of our network, it basically means that resources can be dynamically scaled up or down based on demand, right? And as more GPUs join the network, the available computational power, it just keeps increasing day by day, right? Which definitely allows us to seamlessly scale without the significant need for infrastructure investment.
Yeah.
Thirdly, we also have cost efficiency. Being a DePIN, we are able to utilize idle GPU resources across the network, which is definitely more cost effective than basically investing in data centers and traditional cloud services, right? And
Hmm.
users only have to pay for the compute power that they need, and often at a much lower cost than any of our competitors, right?
Yeah.
Finally, we also have reduced latency and fault tolerance, right? Because being a DPIN, we have a lot of nodes all around the world, uh, and people basically have the power to choose the nodes that are closest to the users, right?
Hmm.
And that helps with the latency of the real time processing, things like such as video streaming or augmented reality or any of the processing workloads that are run on these nodes, right? And this is the key thing, right? It minimizes the latency and improves performance. And finally, coming back to fault tolerance, right? Being a decentralized marketplace for GPUs, if ever you have a node which abruptly fails, it can very easily be replaced by one of our good nodes. So yeah, that's how uh, that's how basically we are able to enhance the scalability and efficiency of AI image and video models.
Yeah, brilliant. No, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that, Smeral. Super excited that we have Creator Bid in the house. They are just joining in. I can see it's connecting from my side. Phil, are you able to hear us? I think he's just dropped off. Okay, no worries. Guys, they're just getting connected. While they are getting connected, we're just going to ask one more question from the community, and I'll direct this one to Smeral as well, and then we'll kick off all of the juicy, incredible content regarding this partnership. So, Smeral, we do have another question here from the community,
Mhm.
right? And it's one more related to us here at ionet. The community is asking, like, if I change my GPU for a better one, do I still earn rewards based on the previous GPU, or how does this work? Can you share some insights here, please?
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, to do that, I'll have to say that you'll have to reach out to the support and see if it is even possible to, accommodate that change. And while in some cases that is doable, it really depends if have you staked your device, if it has already been staked, and if you're improving to if you're trying to get a new GPU, which is basically a tier above than the one that was already staked, you might have to stake more, right? And that definitely means that it's a one-to-one replacement, and you won't be earning uh, you know what uh, uh, what was the old GPU model which was earning before, right? So it's basically a one-to-one change to keep it short, right? In a nutshell, you'll basically be earning the new rewards for the GPU model that you have upgraded to. Does that answer the question?
Fantastic. Yeah, Smeral, thank you so much for providing that clarity. Really appreciate it. Well, guys, we have Phil in the house, the CEO of CreatorBid. Phil, a absolute pleasure to have you on stage with us today. Thank you so much for joining.
CM guys, very sorry for being late. Awesome to be here.
No worries at all. No, we've got a bunch of community questions, so yeah, we just started going through them. But now that you're here, we're incredibly excited to kick off the conversation. So, Phil, Tarsif, like obviously this partnership, so many people are excited about it, and with that being said, naturally they have a lot of questions. So I'm going to kick off the very first question. Tarsif, if you want to take this, and then would love Phil for you to sort of take and provide your feedback to that question next. Tarsif, the question is like, how will creator, or actually for this question, I'll probably go to Phil first. Sorry, um, Phil. The question is like, how will CreatorBid leverage ionet's decentralized GPU network to enhance its AI agents and content creation capabilities? Would love for you to provide a little bit more perspective on the partnership and what it means for CreatorBid and ionet.
Awesome, yeah, sure. Super excited about this partnership, and I mean, creator bit. I think we're focusing mostly on image and video generation, and as everyone know, like especially image and video, like needs a lot of compute power to create this content formats. Here the future, obviously, going on TikTok, going on YouTube Shorts, um, and producing fully like content fully autonomously. Yeah, ionet is a great solution for us. We just like rented the first GPUs, and yeah, looking forward to basically have our models hosted there. So on the one side, users can interact with the agents, and on the other side, the agents can just like fully automatically create like high quality videos and images.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. And Tarsif, would love your perspective on this. From your perspective, like how do you see this partnership growing, and how do you feel that we can support CreatorBid in its objectives and vision?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think first and foremost, we're starting off with providing our decentralized compute capabilities to CreatorBid, right? So, and when you kind of think about CreatorBid's business of being sort of like a AI agent and driven sort of like agent launchpad, one thing that becomes really important is just essentially the computing power and specifically needed for inferencing of sort of like highly complex models such as the image gen and video gen models that Phil just specifically mentioned, right? So I think to start off with, we've already seen CreatorBit have a lot of success in the market, and we expect that to continue to grow, especially in terms of community size and in terms of like agents launched as well. So I think we're just at the beginning here, but I'm sure as more people come on to CreatorBit, try out a lot of their various tools and creator-driven sort of like platform, I'm sure as CreatorBit grows and more agents are launched, we'll continue to provide more computing power to be able to enable that growth from our side as well.
Yeah, and Tasif, I think you touched on something really interesting there, right? Like everyone wants to know, like we're incredibly excited about the partnership as it stands, but a lot of the questions I noticed were about the future, right? And in terms of what they can expect from the future developments from the ionet and creator.bid partnership. So Phil, we'd also love your perspective on that. As you're growing the organization, and as obviously AI-driven content is becoming more and more advanced, what are the sort of supporting mechanisms that you need that an organization that ionet can support with to help you achieve your vision?
Yeah, for us, I mean, I guess yeah. In the first instance, for us, it's like the ability to like scale up GPU resources to support a growing number of agents on the platform. This is really for us, I think the most important factor to scale.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? And naturally, we're all incredibly excited to see the future of where this is going. So thank you so much for sharing some context there. We also do have a question more about the broader AI creator economy, right? And I think that something that is on a lot of people's minds is how does this collaboration contribute to the broader AI creator economy? And fundamentally, the development of AI-powered digital personas. So, Phil, while we have you on the line, would love your perspective on that.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, on creator.bid, you can basically there are two different modes. First is I would say like a co-creation mode where you have the chat. It's integrated with like live data sources like web search and other APIs. It can generate currently images of the image models, and then a human user could say, "Hey, like create me a tweet about what's going on in the Bitcoin ecosystem, and create like a cool picture to it," and then like, oh, make it a little bit more there. So like kind of this co-creation process between AI and human is enabled. But on the other side, you can also just go like, like set up the persona, you set up the style, the niche, the tone of voice of the agent, and then you click on settings and you go on auto content on, how many images you want to use on your tweets, how much, which kind of data input you want to use. If you want to do like more live data, if you want to more kind of like Twitter data be used as context, or like maybe upload a PDF for your agent. And that's basically the other mode, like just like the pure AI creator or virtual creator mode, where the human is not involved. I think I'm gonna see both, like humans working together with AI and AI basically like running and working completely alone. And then you're gonna see, I mean, I personally think that like, like the human input, so like giving some seed or giving some ideas to AI is in the end always going to perform better than just like pure AI. But yeah, it's gonna be we're gonna see how this plays out in the future.
Yeah, I really resonate with that. So thank you, Phil. I think that was super interesting. Tarsif, would also love your perspective on this, right? Like how you feel this partnership essentially contributes to the broader creator AI economy, but also the development of AI-powered digital personas.
Yeah, for sure. I think Phil mentioned a couple really interesting points there that I wanna dig in on. So I think a lot of sort of what human interaction with LLMs right now. We had kind of like text to text, and I think specifically with CreatorBit, we have a lot of sort of like text to image, text to video models that are driving a lot of like the creation capabilities of these AI agents right now. But I think in terms of where I kind of see the future developing, with this partnership and even beyond with sort of like the AI agent economy, is I think more sort of inclusion of more complex like multimodal models. And what I mean by that is specifically being able to, specifically for I think where the most exciting application of this is the co-creator mode. So when I say multimodal, I essentially mean a human could input any form of input, whether it's their voice, like text, like an MP3 of a song, an image, a video, what have you, sort of, kind of input that into an AI agent or LLM in this case, and essentially have an AI agent sort of, remix that or kind of like provide an output in any other form of mode that the human persona kind of wants, right? So I think this opens up sort of like a incredible plethora of opportunities to create a variety of different types of contents and remix them, and kind of completely opens up the design space there. And I think with that sort of happening, with more sort of complex models being integrated into AI agents, and sort of like the nature of these interactions between humans and AI agents becoming more complex as well, I think a lot of that will depend on sort of stronger and more decentralized and distributed computing needs, right? And I think in a few of the previous AMAs, I've kind of talked about specifically how ionet's decentralized compute network has great product market fit with a lot of customers who run their inferencing workloads on us, and that's specifically to kind of reduce the latency that's needed by these agents or LLMs to respond back to the end users. And I think this sort of reduction in latency, especially as more of these models become more complex, becomes really important in a AI agent use case, because I think in the future humans will probably interact with AI agents just as much as they interact with their friends or text their friends or FaceTime their friends and things like that. So I think reduction of latency there is really important to kind of ensuring that those relationships are kind of happen more naturally and kind of continue to happen, and are more integrated in sort of like how people tend to expect to communicate with their friends or others. So I think those are a few areas that, at least when I kind of think about where the future of this partnership and where sort of like the future of AI powered digital personas go, I think become really important.
Yeah, Tarsif, I think you've touched on some really interesting points there, right? And slowly with time, we are seeing more integration with technology and our lives. But we know that integration is not possible without also like an extremely fast-paced degree of innovation and essentially like technology like driven integration into our lives, right? And the tech behind such innovation needs to be extremely robust. And with that being said, I do have a question for Smiral here. Smiral, a lot of members of the community have been asking more about the technical challenges. Like with the pace of innovation that we're going at, with how fast AI is growing, people want to know, like, what are the key technical challenges in integrating decentralized GPU resources within AI platforms like creator.bid, and how does ionet traditionally address them?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the first major, I mean, there are a couple of challenges that I would, go over and also tell how we are trying to address those. So the first one is, the major challenge is that we provide a lot of different variety of GPUs that differ in architecture, capability, and performance, right? So the diversity it can be a bit difficult standardizing workloads, and it may lead to inconsistent results, right? So to tackle this at Ionet, we've been implementing a unified abstraction layer that normalizes the interactions with different GPU types, right? We use containerizing technologies like Docker to encapsulate applications and just to ensure that the environments are consistent all across all nodes, right? Very similar to how we have our IO workers Dockerized running on a lot of compute nodes which provide compute to us, right? Additionally, we also profile the capabilities of each GPUs to make sure that it will be matching the workloads, and we prioritize those nodes accordingly, right? Secondly, is probably again coming to security and data privacy, right? So at this point of time, we are basically offloading computations to external GPUs, and that kind of raises concerns about data security and compliance with various regulations like GDPR, right? So Ionet ensures that we have an end-to-end encryption of data both at rest and in transit. So we use secure multi-party computation and uh, and maybe even on based on demand homomorphic encryption techniques to process data without exposing any sensitive information, right? We also provide tools to our users, or some abilities to make demands to choose basically the region where their data will be processed, right? Um, it can be a strict regulation because there's some regional data protection laws which are enforced, right? So we try to accommodate those as well, right? And again, coming to reliability and fault tolerance, so we need to keep monitoring the node health continuously so we can reroute tasks to alternate nodes, right? In case there's failure, in case there's again just to ensure that there's high availability in case any of the nodes fail. And even after failure, we have to ensure that we choose a node for which the performance won't be like at least equivalent or better. And finally, coming to network latency and bandwidth limitations. So when we come to training, I mean, there are two scenarios when it comes to AI, right? We have AI training and we have AI inference. So coming to AI inference, the challenge becomes that we optimize the location of the node based on where the request is coming from, ensuring that it provides the least latency and best performance in that case. But when it comes to AI training, we have to ensure that the nodes that we are choosing to train the model on need to be on the same network, or need to be in very close proximity, since there will be a lot of data exchange over the network. And the farther nodes, the latency might increase, and we will see decrease in performance for AI training. So these are basically the challenges, and we have built in tools, we've built in accommodations to make sure that we are able to provide the best performance that we can get from all of these nodes.
Yeah, thank you, Smeral. I think that's super interesting to understand the obviously the degrees of intricacy when it comes to naturally these tech integrations and the respective interoperability that's aligned with that. I'm just looking through the questions, and we've got a really interesting question from one of the community members directed to Phil. So, Phil, this question is addressed to you. It's a two-part question. I think the first part I'd love for you to touch on. It's just telling people a little bit more about essentially what creator.bid does. A lot of people have noticed AI agents as the new buzzword, and naturally, I'm sure for you, it's not something necessarily so new because you've been obviously making innovation and building it for quite some time. But if you can just give some perspective on what creator.bid does and how you see AI agents evolving, that would be fantastic. And the second part of the question, which I would love for you to touch on, is more about the specific benefits that potentially creator.bid's users can expect from this partnership, more in terms of like performance and potentially like cost effectiveness.
Yes, of course. So creator.bid is a launchpad for AI agents. I think we timed it, or like we were very lucky with the universe timing it perfectly. So basically, we started building in March, and then just a couple of months, like launched the full on-chain version on October 21st. And just a week before, the whole Truth Terminal and Goat token popped up, and everyone got excited about AI agents. So what are AI agents? I would say in the current matter, it's like you would call them also AI influencers, or basically like virtual content creators who post on Twitter or post on Telegram or like other social media platforms. And then normally they tend to have a token. We call them agent keys, and you can basically create them directly on the creator.bid platform together with your agent. And then basically the functionalities or like the features of the agents, they have always like a distinct character, right? Some are funny, some are kind of rude. You basically define a character, they have like a physical appearance, we have like image models and fine-tuned models so that the persona looks always the same when he posts or when she posts something. And then there's some automation going on auto replies and auto content so that it's like response to people on Twitter, and he posts on Twitter automatically. And the latest thing is like what you call membership. So you can basically like lock tokens up and can become a member of the agent. And there's something kind of inspired of like OnlyFans or Patreon. So like this kind of like paid subscription models for this new AI influencer creator. And then this is, I would say, how should I make a pause here? You have any questions?
No, all good. I think you were just about to touch on it. I know that you mentioned like a lot of the nuances of AI agents, right? But I'm super curious that how do you see these AI agents as they stand right now, but potentially developing over the next
Mhm,
6 months, or even
mhm,
I know anything beyond 6 months is in this space because of the innovation, it almost becomes crazy to predict. But would love your
mhm,
perspective just in terms of like where you see it potentially going, and more importantly, like where you would like to see it going.
mhm. No, yeah, great. I was planning to touch on that. So this, like what we saw right now is like AI agents creating content, like AI influencers, basically, or virtual influencers, building up a brand through their tokens. They could like, scale very quickly. Like Agent Algo, like our brand mascot agent, he has over 3,000 followers now and is like not even a week old, right? Like token brings communities and like huge engagement. And this is kind of like the first evolution step, right? Just like a content creator. If you compare it to like influencers in the traditional market, how this started was like people were having fun on YouTube and doing videos, or on Instagram doing pictures, and they were just like living after their passion. And like garnered an audience for creating content, and then in the next step, these like brands discovered that these personas or these influencers, they have like audience, and this is actually my target audience, so I can pay these influencers to post for me, and that's when basically the whole influencer marketing boom started. And today, influencers, the bigger ones, the smarter ones, they launch their own products. So you see Logan Paul, having his Prime energy drink. You see Conor McGregor having like his whiskey. Like there are many other examples. I think what's his name, Andrew Tate having his like academy. So like many examples of successful influencers with an audience which launch their own products and sell them directly to consumer, or like or to their audience, or like affiliate other products. And I think this is what we're gonna see with these AI agents as well. So like they're gonna come up with own products, can be on chain, can be off chain, or they affiliate with other projects and basically market them on behalf of these products.
Thank you for that, Phil. I think that's incredibly interesting. We do live. It's no doubt we live in a creator economy, right? And what we're seeing is a shift from traditional creators as we know them, many of the YouTubers and influencers you've mentioned, to AI influencers, and that is something that obviously there is a trend towards. But it's not done the way that AI agents have done it, right? So super curious and excited to see how that goes. Thank you so much for answering that question, Phil. Tarsif, we've got a question for you here from the community that's just come in. We're doing some incredible partnerships at ionet, and that's no secret. A lot of people want to know, for example, like what are the main criterias that ionet considers when selecting partners to ensure that there is a degree of mutual growth and innovation?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a few different areas that we look at in terms of the type of partnerships that we do and the type of partners and customers that we approach, right? So I think firstly, the dimension that we kind of, or like the perspective that we kind of really view the world from is sort of like where we sit within the whole AI tech stack, right? So us as ionet, as a decentralized compute provider, we sit at this very foundational layer of all AI innovation. And, we kind of underpin sort of everything that gets built in AI. So we're really lucky to have a position like that within this space. And what that particular perspective really kind of opens up for us in terms of opportunities to partner and work with a lot of other players is we really get a sense of what everyone is building and what sort of work they're doing across different areas of the tech stack. So us being sort of, like a Web3, like decentralized company, I think one of the main things we look at from our partners is also who's working within decentralized AI and who's sort of building really innovative solutions around like the decentralized AI tech stack. So, whether that's in the form of decentralized data sets, whether that's in the form of AI agents and AI agent marketplaces and launchpads such as creator.bid, whether that's sort of in the form of agentic frameworks, whether that's in terms of like differentiated databases, things like that. There's a lot of different areas within this space that a lot of key players are innovating on. And I think what we kind of really look for from each of them is how can they continue to build up sort of like the overall decentralized AI mission and kind of really enable you know decentralized AI app developers everywhere to continue to move this whole mission forward. Which in turn will continue to drive sort of like the value proposition of what we at ionet offer as a decentralized compute service.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tasi. I think you touched on it, but I'm just reading here one of the questions that the community is sending live as we're speaking. They essentially want to know like how partnerships and collaborations with organizations like creator.bid align to overall like IONET's overall mission of democratizing AI computing. And I think it's a really interesting question, right? Because we've always been very, very clear here at IONET the types of like customers that we obviously like serving and the types of partners that we like love collaborating with, right? And they're like incredible driven like AI innovation, but they want to know like overall, how does partnering with the likes of creator.bid and many other partners that we have contribute to IONET's overall mission?
So great question. And I think, I sort of hinted at this a little bit in my previous response here, but I think another way to think about this is really in terms of kind of like with each of these partnerships, we're really enabling different forms of developers and different types of developers, right? So I think when we kind of talk about sort of like a AI ML developer, I think um, it can feel very generic and not quite tangible. And you're thinking about someone like deep in the code, trying to build, like a foundational model from scratch, who we do, who are, who we do serve. And there are a lot of customers like that who come to us, but that isn't necessarily sort of everyone out there trying to build with AI, right? I think the definition of AI builders continues to expand. And I think, what a company like creator.bid is doing is sort of like really democratizing access to for people to build with AI, right? And really sort of abstracting away what it means to be an AI builder. You don't necessarily to launch an AI agent on creator.bid, you don't necessarily need to know how to code or understand Ray or Kubernetes or how to deploy, GPU clusters on ionet. You can just go on and build an AI agent and start creating content and sharing that with your friends and start monetizing and tokenizing and kind of really engage in this AI driven creator economy without sort of you know really even considering yourself as like an AI builder. And I think part of what we really start like try to drive through these partnerships is really expand that opportunity set for everyone out there. So through ionet, our main platform, we're enabling sort of a lot of classic AIML developers, but by sort of enabling those AIML developers to build a variety of tools and platforms on top of ionet, I think we're really expanding the set of customers and set of people and users who really can engage in the AI economy in the future.
Yeah, thank you for that, Tasif. I think that was incredibly interesting, and it actually touches on something that I just want to discuss with Phil right now. Phil, one of the questions that a lot of the core members of the community are asking is how does this collaboration address some of the common challenges faced by content creators, such as speed, accessibility, or even like the cost of AI powered tools that we're seeing? Many people are saying that like there's a lot of AI powered tools that we're seeing, but the cost of using them is getting more and more expensive, right? So would love your perspective on how creator.bid is addressing some of these traditional issues.
Yep, very good question. So we don't really see our core focus on creator tooling. It is, like it is an option or like it is a feature, especially like to work together with an AI agent and like improve on its content. But yeah, it's not particular. Yeah, it's not the core focus. I think the goal or like our core focus obviously is to create like autonomous agents, which like come up with own content ideas, have their community involved with content ideas, and then execute on the content creation fully automatically. And the model how it works at the moment is like agents they launch their tokens called agent keys, and these have like a 3% sales tax on their pool. So it's not on a token but on the pool, and then the agent itself earns 2% of the revenue created from basically sales on the token, which has been proven as a very good income source for the agent. I think today all the agents together they made over 160 ETH. Yeah, which sums up. And now from the treasury, they can then very soon, like they have some initial like automated trading features using Bramify, and soon we have some integration with some machine learning signal providers on trades, and then basically like execute trades directly from the agent's wallet. So yeah, that's why the product is currently free to use. So there's no subscription needed. There's no basically payment from the creator to the platform to use all the tools. When we expand to like more video content, we will see how this will work. Especially if you don't have a token, or like if your token is very small and it doesn't generate revenue, we probably need to like find other ways to compensate for, let it be credits, or it might be like tied to our token, which is coming as well. But yeah, this is how we see it.
Brilliant. I really, really found that insightful, Phil. So thank you for sharing that. It's great to see that the tool is free. So guys, if you've not checked out creator.bid, like definitely feel free to do so. Like AI agents are like incredibly trending right now, and just being in sync in lockstep with how that innovation will develop over time will be super interesting. Phil, while we got you, we do have a question here from one of the members, which I actually think is quite interesting. Before the partnership that you did with ionet, they're asking like what challenges you traditionally faced in the demand for AI and compute processing power. Naturally, the demand for AI and compute processing power is higher than it's ever been, right? And they want to know like how ionet potentially helps in addressing those challenges.
In Ireland, how like address the challenges of the need of compute power, or like what's sorry, can you
Yes,
repeat?
yeah. It's
Um,
essentially that. Like, what challenges did creator.bid face prior to the partnership with ionet in meeting the demands for AI processing power?
yeah, I remember. So like we applied. It's funny, like I think on Azure or AWS, you needed to apply for a server and apply for machines to get the compute power you want to like basically host an image model or something on there. It took a while to get the like application through, and then was a little bit cumbersome to maintain, and also I guess quite more expensive than ionet. And yeah, like the process of onboarding has been very straightforward. You guys have been a great help in like providing exactly the resources we need at a given point of time. The setup was without a problem. So yeah, I think it was like just you guys did a great job on providing what we need at the moment, and making it very seamless. And so far, I mean, we just was very fresh using Hero Rails, but so far they seem to be very stable and working, which is also not which is not for granted if you work with like Web3 startups. Most of the time, the tech actually like most of the time it's actually not production ready. But so far, I can just like speak highly about your solution.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Phil. As we're sort of coming towards the end of the Q&A, I've got a few more questions here from the community that I would like to ask. One of them, I'll probably direct this one to Tarsif. So, Tarsif, the community is asking, as we're going about making these incredible partnerships with a lot of fantastic partners in the industry, what are some of the unique innovations that are naturally emerging from combining like ionet's decentralized GPU power with the partners that we're integrating with? So in this instance, creator.bid's like AI agents, and how is that driving our innovation?
Yeah, for sure. So I think there's a few different ways that we're really helping drive innovation through a lot of our partnerships, right? So I think specifically with creator.bid, I think we've been talking about the various forms of enablement that we've been doing to ensure creator.bid continue to scale with their AI agent platform, and we're even touching on a few sort of like future perspectives of what it would look like, with the AI agent economy, and specifically how the AI agents on creator.bid could really continue to evolve, and how ionet can help scale that. So I think there's a lot of exciting stuff that we've kind of touched on specifically related to AI agent innovation here. I think a few other ones I want to quickly touch upon as well is we're starting to see a lot of interesting sort of workloads and use cases kind of emerge from other customers and partners using ionet's decentralized compute as well. I think a couple that I'll tease here a little bit, as we haven't sort of specifically publicly announced this quite yet, but more sort of within like the decentralized science narrative, like the DeSci narrative, and how AI compute power, or how compute power is really helping drive some of like the AI workloads within that space as well. So, we've seen a few customers start to kind of use ionet's decentralized compute power for very specific, tangible, real-world use cases, such as protein folding, to essentially sort of solve for like genetic-related use cases, plus also accelerating like the drug discovery process as well, which typically would take years previously, but with biotech-related LLMs being able to accelerate that process now, drug discovery could be done in sort of like a matter of weeks or days, which is truly incredible in terms of speed. So I think in terms of new and exciting use cases coming out, yeah, look forward to sort of more announcements around that as we start to kind of publish more of the work that we're doing and more of the work that our customers and partners are doing in the space that are being powered by ionet.
Thank you for that, Tarsif. Yeah, really appreciate that answer. Phil, we have a final question for you, and it's really talking more about the vision and the future for creator.bid. People want to understand like what you potentially have in the roadmap, and for you personally, where is the next major milestone for creator.bid?
It's a very good question. You have very exciting news to be announced tomorrow. I think the question every crypto project, we have 3 projects, was asked like many times through its lifetime when this very special moment happens. And this happens very soon. And thereafter, there's like you saw it already on agent, so like the agent Ivo, some videos posted where he basically like creates automatically images in his own style and has a voice, and like these images are cut together into like small videos. And this is like, I think the next big thing we do is allow all the agents to basically automatically create video content, and then first share it on Twitter, and then we're looking into like Farcaster and TikTok and like this and YouTube Shorts. We see all the platforms which support short format videos. Yeah, this is like on social side of things, we're excited about. And then if you look on chain, as I mentioned before, like expanding on the trading capabilities of these agents to automate the treasury, to automate the revenue they're coming in. And we're gonna see also very soon like the first DeFi product being launched by an agent, which yeah, I'm personally super stoked on. I would say it's the most chat thing you can do in any financial market. So far not many people have guessed what I mean by that, but yeah, we're very excited about what's coming.
Fantastic, Phil. Well, look, guys, if you are not following creator.bid, feel free to ensure that you are keeping track with all of the latest innovations that they are doing. I'm super stoked to see what our partners are building. We like to work in lockstep with our partners to ensure that we're constantly supporting them with their innovation. So Phil, we're very excited for that. Well, look, guys, that's all we have, unfortunately, time for today. I just want to say like a big shout out and thank you to IONation and the team at creator.bid and all of the followers from creator.bid that are listening into this AMA. Here we have, obviously, on the call, the creator.bid team with Phil, Tarsif, and Smarov. If you're not following these accounts, please feel free to do so you can constantly keep up to date with the latest innovation, progress, and of course, the AMAs that we are doing. If you did not manage to get your question answered today, don't worry, we are going to hold a lot more of these AMAs. We always hold them on a weekly basis, so please feel free to reach out to the community moderators or the astronauts and get your questions in. But for now, thank you, Phil. It was a blast. We learned so much about what creator.bid is building. We're incredibly excited about the future. And of course, we are super proud to have you guys as a partner and support you with your innovation. Thanks, Tarsif. Thank you, Smiral.
Thanks so much.
Thanks all.
Thanks, guys. Bye.